Namaste Saraswate Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatami Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we'll start with a very simple question. I think all of you should be able to reflect on this. What do you guys think is the goal of human life? What do you guys think is the goal of human life?
Die with the most toys.
I'm sorry?
Die with the most toys.
Dying with the most
Toys.
toys. Dying with the most toys, okay? All right. That's very nice, very
Not what
reflective.
you're looking for.
Okay. Anybody else? What is the goal of human life? You can turn on your translator, Alex, if that is easier for you. Okay?
Thank you.
Right? What is the goal of human life according to
To
you?
achieve Krishna.
To achieve Krishna. Okay, all right.
To elevate our consciousness.
To elevate our consciousness. Okay.
To understand ourselves.
To understand us. Okay, all right.
Prepare us for death.
So you don't want to die with the nose toys? So prepare for death. Okay, all right.
It's cheaper to just
You
prepare
know,
for
this
death.
is the most morbid group I've ever had. Like they're talking about, what about achieving something in this life? Like, what are you looking for every day? You're looking to die with the most lives? You're looking to achieve death or whatever it is, or knowing. So what is it that you're looking for? What is your goal? Happiness. Happiness. Anybody else wants happiness? Peace. Okay. All right. Do you want peace and happiness, or just peace is good enough and you could be like completely unhappy, but as long as you're peaceful? Right? Which one would you prefer?
Yeah, peace plus happiness.
Plus happiness. So happiness is part of the equation. Okay. Krishna Priya, are you okay with happiness or not?
Yes,
Oh.
and Krishna Prema also.
And Krishna Priya. Okay, very good. She's like, I want to catch my bets. Okay. So yes, for if you were to ask this, you know, there is that thing. What is it called? Like, we asked 100 people the same question, and you know, what was it called? It's like Wheel of Fortune or something like that. Was it?
PULL?
Yeah. There is this game show.
Oh.
It says we asked so many people, and how many statistically said this, and then whoever comes close to that gets a prize or something like that. So anyway, most people say, yeah, all right, there you go. Okay, most people say that happiness is the goal of human life. All right, what is this?
Life transformation.
I don't want that. Okay, that's better. That would be really weird. Okay. All right, so most people say the goal of human life, or the goal of their life, is to achieve some semblance of happiness. Okay? So question for you all, if most people say that, and I'm pretty sure all of us are endeavoring for happiness, then why is it that we cannot be happy? How many of you are happy? Because I'm not, I'm miserable. So, you're happy? You've gotten the
I'm
most
happy
prize?
I found Krishna consciousness.
Okay, you're happy because of that. Okay, wonderful. That's the thing. Where is Jagannath Prabhu? You asked me to teach, like, get this topic, and they've all run marathons on Bhakti Yoga, and I'm doing first steps, so I'm getting these incredible answers. So, yes. So, are you all happy? Why not? Why are we not able to get happiness? Rajesh Prabhu, I only see part of your t-shirt. If you can come over here, then I can see you, and I'll be way more satisfied that way. Yes. So,
We're in the wrong place.
yes. Okay. Yes, you want to say something?
Prabhuji, most of the time the happiness is dependent on something else.
Mhm.
That's what I think. Like maybe someone's behavior, maybe your promotion, maybe the money, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And if you don't get that, then you become unhappy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's very happiness is very hard to get.
Okay.
If you are, it's dependent on something else,
Mhm.
which is also equally material.
Okay. Very good point. Actually, that is the reason we cannot be happy, because we are depending on something which is material. So you mentioned a few things. Promotion is one of them. Okay. How many of you want good health to be happy? Okay, good. How many of you want a decent amount of money? We're not talking about like everybody wants to be Elon Musk, but yeah, okay. A fairly decent amount of money, right? How many of you want a good family? Right? Okay. Now, at a certain point of time, we will lose our job. Even in this life, we lose our job because we retire or we leave our job and so on and so forth. Okay. Our health breaks down. It breaks down frequently and ultimately it completely breaks down. Okay. Our family members, they come and go, and God forbid, we see this, even our parents, our grandparents, people who are elder to us, mostly we lose them on the way. And then sometimes we lose peers and similar age and whatnot. And sometimes, God forbid, we even lose younger kids and so on. So, right? So we lose family members as well. And yet, we are still there. So the reason we are not able to become happy is because of a very specific thing, which you mentioned, you also mentioned, Prabhu, which is because it is material and we are not material. So who are we? We are spirit souls. So this is Bhagavad Gita 2:20. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavitva vana bhuya ajo nitya shashvato yaha purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So we are souls, and for us there is neither any birth nor any death. And we have always existed. We have not come into being, do not come into being, and will never come into being. So which means that we have always existed from eternity. For as long as the Lord has existed, we have also existed. Okay, we have never created. So it is written, we are unborn, we are eternal, we are ever existing, we are primeval. And we are not slain when the body is slain. So what does this mean? We are unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. This means that we can be happy when we have things, or when we are associating with things which are unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. So in other words, we are happy when we are associating with things which are spiritual. We are not happy when we are, associating with things which are material. And in fact, this entire universe is called as samsara. Okay, everybody aware of that term? Samsara. Okay. And in Subhashita Ratnakar, there is this very nice verse which says, Samsara katu vrikshasya. Katu vrikshasya means that's the bitter or the poisonous tree of samsara. Dve phale amritopame. There are two fruits which are amritopame, which are like nectar. What are those? Shubhashita rasasvadaha and sangati sujane jane. So sangati means association, sujane jane, the association of sujans, of sadhus. And the other thing is subhashita rasa swadaha, rasa. So here the word used is rasa. So the rasa, tasting the rasa of subhasitas, the ones who speak beautifully, the ones who speak lovingly, the ones who speak with full knowledge. So they're tasting the rasa of that full knowledge, the rasa of anything endowed with full knowledge. In other words, spiritual rasa and the association of sadhus. So that is there are two things, only two fruits which are like nectar. Everything else is just like poison. Why? Because it is the poisonous tree of samsara. So really, when we say that we are looking for happiness, it is incorrect. We are not looking for happiness. And so let us prove that point. Another word, what we are looking for is rasa. Everybody say the word rasa. Rasa. So what is rasa? So one just direct meaning of rasa is juice. Just it's a standard meaning of rasa is juice. Of course, we're not looking for juice, but one basic meaning of rasa is juice. So anybody over here likes juice?
Yeah.
Who does? You do? Okay. All right, Prabhu, do you mind all coming over here? It's very difficult for me to keep doing this. It's like I'm not 24 years old anymore. So yeah, that's wonderful. So Jagannath Prabhu, you said you like juice. So what kind of juice do you like? What's your favorite juice?
Mango juice.
Mango juice. Okay, so you like some sweet juice. Mango juice, okay. So Jagannath Prabhu, I will give you, 2 liters of mango juice to drink every day for the next 1 month. Okay, every single day. That's what you drink. Okay? And so you said you like it. It gives you some happiness, some satisfaction. So it gives you satisfaction on day 1, maybe a little less on day 2. But by the time it's day 30, you are done with mango juice. You're like, okay, I don't want to see a single carton of mango juice ever again. Is that accurate? Is that?
I think on the second day only my digestion.
Alright, so way before the 30th day, right? So what is it that we are looking for then? We are not looking for just happiness. It's a very simple term. What we are looking for is a varieties of emotions at the right time. And sometimes the emotion that we are looking for is sadness. Okay? But we want to feel sad because feeling sad at that point of time will make us happy. So for example, I will tell you, let's say we have kids, many of us have kids, one day the kid goes to college and the house is empty and we have just, the kid has just started on their journey for college or we've just dropped them off at college and we are now, Hare Krishna, welcome, Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna. And so be comfortable.
Yeah.
Use the cushions if you feel like. If you wish to have chairs, then we can put some chairs as well. Okay? All right. So we are talking about the goal of human life, just to catch you all in, because I saw quite a few of you just come in. We're talking about the goal of human life, and we started off by saying that the goal of human life is happiness. And we said that that is inadequate, because that is not the goal of human life. The goal of human life, what really makes us happy, is to experience something called as rasa. Okay, what is your name here? Yes?
Tiana.
Yara?
Tiana.
Okay. Can you say the word rasa?
Rasa.
There you go. Okay. And we then defined what is rasa. And we said that rasa is a varieties of emotions felt at the right time. And we said sometimes we want to feel sad. And feeling that sad makes us happy. And we were just giving a mundane example. An example is, well, all of us have gone through separations in our lives. But I'm talking about a mild separation, or we just dropped our kid off at college, and at that point of time we feel some sadness, we feel some emptiness. And at that time, if somebody says that, hey, you know what, let's party, because your kid is in college, like, no, not today. I don't feel like doing that today, and so on. And then similarly, if we are frustrated at something, at that time we want to feel frustrated. So we want to have that feeling. If somebody tells us, okay, let's party, or whatever it is, or let's, jump up and down, enjoy, like, no, this is not the right time for that. I don't want to feel like that. I want to feel frustrated. I want to feel angry. I want to feel disappointed or depressed. And that's okay, because that's my goal. My goal is not necessarily to feel only elated or one kind of emotion at every given point of time. So that's what we are looking for, really. Okay? So essential happiness can be distilled in this one term called as rasa. And that's what we do. And rasa is the ultimate hankering of all the living entities. So this is a very beautiful picture of Srimati Radharani feeling, what is she feeling? She's feeling separation from Krishna. So these variegated emotions. All of you have well, most of you have heard different kinds of songs, right, in Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy and theology and so on and so forth. So what are the most common songs? Is there songs about union or is it songs about separation? Separation, right? So we see that. And so how do we start our journey on rasa? So any idea, like, what do you guys think of? So we want to feel now these variegated emotions when we think about God. We don't want to feel a single lineage type of emotion. So how do we get started on this?
Except a bona fide spiritual master.
Okay, but what if I don't have one? Then I can't feel this? That's it. So
Associate
there are
with sadness.
about 99%, and of course I don't have the exact figures, but it would be okay for me to say that the vast majority of us do not have a bona fide spiritual master whom we have physically surrendered to, right? Not even that. I would even extend that to say that if we were to argue that no, Srila Prabhupada can be a spiritual master, even for the vast majority of the people who have started on this journey, they have not accepted him as a spiritual master, right? So they will not feel that they cannot go on this journey.
Best practice would be to find a bona fide.
Yeah, but how do we get started?
Acceptable practice, associate with
Even
sadness.
before that.
Desire.
Even, yes, desire. Okay, so I have a desire to start on this journey. Therefore, I'm even contemplating this. So now what? What else should I do?
Devotional, bhakti.
What is devotional bhakti then? How do we get started in that devotional bhakti? What are you doing right now?
Here.
What are you doing right now? Right this minute, what are you doing?
Talking.
And
Listening.
and hearing. So that is the way to get started. The first way, and you're right, Acharya Prabhu, is to even have a desire. If you don't have a desire, then all bets are off. Then, why would we even get on this journey, right? But assuming that we have a semblance of desire, either directly, that, oh, it's my desire, or indirectly, our parents come and drag us over here, hey, you better come and listen to it, or our friends, or our colleagues, or whoever it is, our associates. We have sat down, and now the first thing we do is hear. What goes on with hearing? What will you hear? What will you hear?
About the Lord, about the person.
What will you hear? What is spoken? If there is nobody speaking anything, you will not hear. Okay? And then when you hear something, and you were to even reinforce that by speaking about it, then that will reinforce your own faith as well. Simply hearing, sure, that's great, nothing wrong with it, wonderful. But when you do that along with speaking, then that's even better. How else would you reinforce that, your bhakti journey? Hearing, speaking, what else? And we'll go deeper into this, so don't worry. So we're just scratching the surface right now. What else would you do?
Start doing exchanges
Start doing some exchanges with what?
with the Lord.
With the Lord? Okay, all right. Okay. All right, so let me take an example. So, anybody care to share their profession?
Retired.
Thank you, Prabhu.
All right, Lakshmanya Prabhu, what is your profession?
IT engineer.
Okay. So, how did you become an expert in this profession? Or how did you get started in this profession? Not expert, but
Practice.
yes.
Learning and practice.
Yes, but how did you practice? Like, what did you do to get to the point that you even started out on this journey?
Associating with
Okay, and then while you were associating, what else did you do? What other actions which you took?
learn about what is the best one in the market
Okay,
and choose which is suitable to.
okay. So you certainly heard about some instructions, you spoke about them. Did you do any kind of reading? That is fundamental to our journey. You cannot make, nobody can make any kind of, I won't say any kind of progress, but sustained progress without reinforcing our understanding through reading. And then, if you really think about it, you would not just read and hear and speak, you would also discuss it. And until and unless you discuss it, you would not know all the variegated aspects of it, right? So this can also happen. Oh, but by the way, in our prior experience, this other thing happened, and so on and so forth. So really, if we want to get started in our journey, in our bhakti journey, these are the 4 things that we have to do. We have to hear, we have to speak, we have to read, and we have to discuss. So now the question is that what are we going to hear, read, speak, and discuss about? Okay? So we're going to read, hear, speak, and discuss about these things which you see on the left-hand side. We're going to hear and speak about Krishna's form. So how many forms can you think of for Krishna? There are unlimited forms, so there's no perfect answer for this. Every answer is a good answer. So think about some forms of Krishna. What are some of the forms that you can think of?
Personal forms
Yeah, personal forms.
or energetic?
The personal forms. So think about some forms of Krishna.
Narsingadev.
I'm sorry?
Lord Narsingadev.
Not Lord Nrsimhadev, Krishna in the form of Nrsimhadev. Okay. Alright. What other forms can you think of?
Baby Krishna.
Baby Krishna. Very nice. Okay.
Lord Ram.
Lord Ram. Okay. You're going into the whole avatar. Okay. Let's assume that we've covered all the 10 major ones. There are millions of them. But yeah. So what else? What are the forms of Krishna? Let's not talk about the avatars of Krishna. So we heard one, which is baby Krishna.
His form as a son. And as
His form as a son,
Yeah.
okay. So let's say picking the shoes of Nand Maharaj on his head, or just bringing the fruits to the fruit seller, and other things, just crawling around, Krishna with Putana. So at that time, Krishna is very, very young. So young Krishna, that's one form. Okay, what other forms?
Friend.
Krishna is a friend, so playing with his cowherd boys, with other friends as well, wrestling around, carrying his friends. There's one right there behind you, Krishna with his friends, right there, okay? What other forms can you think of? I'm going to give you a hint.
Shyam.
Krishna's other forms that you can think of. Playing the flute, okay? What other forms can you think of?
Fighter.
I'm sorry?
Fighter.
Fighter, that's brilliant. Very nice. Krishna the fighter. He was wrestling both in the wrestling arena of Kamsa and otherwise as well, right? Krishna we see even in the battle of Kurukshetra. He's lifted the wheel on his head and he's about to attack Bhishma. So that's a great, wonderful, form of Krishna right there. Krishna where he's fighting with all the other kings who have gathered when he's kidnapping Rukmini. That's a fighter. Fighting from others as well, yes.
Krishna as a planner, when there was that sharp given to Draupadi, Bhishma Dev, and then Draupadi went, and then Saubhagyavati go, I don't remember that he planned it so well, and he told Draupadi that during the Mahabharata thing, that when he said that Bhishma took the vow that he's going to kill all the Pandavas the next day, Arjuna specifically the next day, and then how he planned that in the night, then he told Draupadi that you come silently and because he will be chanting, and then you should see how well he planned. So he was a good planner.
He was a
basically.
good planner?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can understand that being one of Krishna's pastimes.
Yeah.
But as a form, how would you?
He was a good
Yeah.
leader, I guess. He was.
So form as a leader, something like that? Okay. So would you say when he's lifting up the Govardhan hill, that's a form?
Yeah.
What about his Virat Rupa? That's another form, right? When he's out there. So we can see that Krishna has so many different forms. And now just think about a form, just for 5 seconds, just think about it. It can be any form. Okay? Right? So what are we doing? We are thinking about Krishna. Okay? So this thinking is what is the essence of starting in bhakti. The starting in bhakti actually is not necessarily hearing, speaking, reading, discussing. It's not. The starting of bhakti is a thinking about Krishna, which is called smaran. Everybody says smaran? Smaran. Hearing, speaking, reading, discussing helps us with smaran. Because when you're hearing about me and we were going around and asking like, hey, what's the form? Even when you are answering or hearing other answers, you are actually imagining that. Krishna is dancing on the hoods of Kaliya. Krishna is playing the flute. Krishna is doing that. You are thinking, you're doing a smaran. Okay? Now the rest of the stuff just follows. So Krishna's form, yes. Krishna's pastimes, we already discussed that. Krishna's associates. What are some of the associates of Krishna that we can think of?
Arjuna.
Arjuna, very nice. Sudama, yes.
Radharani.
Radharani, Srimati Radharani, wonderful. And, sorry? Balram, Uddhav, very nice. Okay? So now we will see that until and unless we put some effort into it, we can only name the associates, but we can't really describe the deeper relationship between Krishna and the associates, nor can we very deeply talk about the pastimes with those associates. For example, let's say Uddhava. Okay? So all of us know roughly who Uddhava is. But until and unless you've studied a little bit about Uddhava and what he said and what was the interaction between Krishna and Uddhava, we won't really be able to talk about it. Okay? So this is where our effort must be, right? So we must then follow through with, these are all the 2 or 3 things that happened with Sudama. These are a few things that happened with Srimati Radharani. So I'll tell you one story. So very, very short story, like maybe a minute. One day, Krishna was with all his cowherd boys and also with all the gopis were also there. And Krishna saw that Radharani was not close to him. She was standing very, very far away. So what he did, he said that, all right, everybody listen up. So everybody just listen up. So whoever can run up to me first will get a prize. And immediately, Radharani was so far back, but she started dashing and running just so that she could come, and she was the first person to come in front of Krishna so that she could get a prize. Okay? And what did Krishna give? Krishna gave just a blob of yogurt to Radharani. He said, what kind of prize have you given me? I have like pots and pots of yogurt. You are such a kanjus, you don't even know how to give a proper prize. And she huffed and puffed and left. And this whole exchange was very beautiful for Krishna. So now you know a little bit of a pastime about Srimati Radharani and Krishna. And it's a little bit more endearing to you, right? So that is Krishna's associates. Festivals. What are some of the festivals that you can hear about? Of course, Janmashtami. What other festivals? Okay. Ram Purnima. I'm sorry? Ekadashi is more one could say it's like a festival, but it's really a tithi more than a festival. Okay? It is a day in a month. Or actually 2 days in a month, but yeah. Okay. Govardhan Utsav. Okay, what other festivals? Think about some uncommon festivals. Any uncommon festivals that you can think of? Bahulashtami, okay. How would that, think about some uncommon festivals that can also be tied to pastimes. Have you ever heard about this place called Pili Pokri? In Barsana, right? Pili Pokri is yellow pond, okay? So how did that pond become yellow? So that becomes a pastime by itself, right? It's not really a festival, but yeah, Govardhan itself is probably a little bit more relevant. Okay, hearing and kirtans. How many of you like hearing kirtans? Love it, right? Okay. What kind of kirtans do you like to listen to?
One that fills one with energy and positive energy.
Fast beat,
Fast
energy,
beats, yeah.
that's what you like, okay? Anybody else like anything different? Did you like the kirtan, the 1.5 minute kirtan which I sang just before this?
Oh yeah.
So you liked it or didn't you?
I loved it.
You loved it? But it wasn't fast paced at all.
But it was peaceful.
But it wasn't at all fast paced. So depending on the
yeah.
so that's the whole thing about rasa, right? So we want a variety of things, different things at different times. At midnight, we don't want the hard rock kirtan. We want the soft, sometimes we're in a contemplative mode. Can you all name some eminent kirtaniers that you like to listen to? For those who listen to different kirtans. Indresh Upadhyay, I have not heard about him, but I will surely look him up. Okay. Any other good Hare Krishna kirtan? Agni Dev, this is old school. Okay.
I don't remember.
Indra Prabhu, maybe.
No, Prabhu, I'm saying I don't remember. Her name is, she's from New York.
Janavi Harrison.
No,
Gopi.
Gopi kirtan.
She has a very
Oh,
strong
I know who you're talking about.
Achyuta Gopi.
Yes.
Achyuta Gopi.
Yes.
Achyuta Gopi.
My three Thakur is also
Okay. Okay.
good. He's a
Art-
very young kid. She's a kid, like
Okay.
Sanatani.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's good.
Even
So,
Amrendra Prabhuji.
Amarendra Prabhu.
Yeah,
Okay.
when he-
That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
when he gives-
Indra Prabhu.
Mm.
Anybody likes him? How about Madhav Prabhu?
Yeah.
Okay. How about Chakrini?
Yes.
How about Karnamrita?
Prabhuji, you have given so many names now.
Right.
We are going back and listening to
Right?
them.
So how about Janvi Harrison? We didn't even mention her. How about Niranjana Swami Maharaj? How about Bibi Govinda Swami Maharaj? Indradumna Swami Maharaj? Right? So the reason I'm saying these names is not just to say that, oh, I know a lot of this. No. It's like it's also variegated. So our sutra of our class today is rasa, the variegatedness of it. And we'll see that what gives us the most satisfaction is when we look at the variegatedness of Krishna's form, to talk about different kinds of his pastimes, talk about multiple different types of associates. Some of them are his friends, some of them are gopis, his intimate relationship, his parents, and so on. The different types of festivals, some of them are gorgeous, some of them are very intimate festivals, and some are very opulent, some different types of kirtans. How about philosophy? Hearing, reading his philosophy. So what kind of philosophies can you think of? Okay.
Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, but what kind? That's a book. But what kind of philosophy are we talking about here?
Vaishnava.
Yeah, that's okay. So some philosophies are contemplative. Okay, some philosophies are reflective. Okay, some philosophies are. Okay, I'll give you examples. It'll be easier. There's this beautiful treatise written called Laghu Bhagavatamrita. Laghu Bhagavatamrita. The major topic about Laghu Bhagavatamrita is different forms of the Lord and the history behind those forms and the meaning behind those forms, why the Lord, did these different forms and so on and so forth. Like, why did he exhibit this different form? How did he do it and so on. So it's a very technical book. But there's in-depth philosophy out there as well. Okay? And then there's another one. So this is a treatise written by Rupa Goswami. His brother Sanatan Goswami wrote a different treatise, which is called the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Brihad Bhagavatamrita answers two questions. So everybody knows what happened in Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the backdrop of Srimad Bhagavatam? Prabhu, do you know? Does your family know what is the backdrop of Srimad Bhagavatam? So, okay, I will tell you very quickly. So, Parikshit Maharaj, do you know who Parikshit is? Okay. Do you know who Abhimanyu is? Okay. So when Abhimanyu was killed in battle, at that point of time his wife was pregnant with a child in the womb. And on the last day of the battle, Ashwatthama had thrown a Brahmastra to kill that baby in the womb because he wanted to completely finish the lineage of the Pandavas, right? At that time, Krishna went into the womb and protected this child whose name was Parikshit. Now Parikshit Maharaj grew up and he became this wonderful righteous king. But one day, we won't go into all the story, the details of the story, but one day he was very hungry and thirsty and he walked into an hermitage and he saw this sage who was sitting over there and meditating. And he asked for some water, he asked for some shelter, but the sage didn't respond. So he got really angry and saw this dead snake over there and he wrapped around the sage's neck and he left in a huff. Now the sage's young son comes in, he sees his father in this way and he gets really mad at whoever did this. He said, whoever did this, I curse this person to die in 7 days. And so Parikshit Maharaj was then cursed to die in 7 days. So he gathered his well-wishers, his counsel, and he said, what can we do? What can a dying man do which will serve him the best interest, which will be in his best interest? And they said what they can do is they can hear about Krishna. They can hear about the Supreme Lord. That's what they can do. Okay? And so the narration, what he hears about at that point of time, he hears this wonderful saint called as Sukadev Goswami. And what he hears is documented in this book called Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay? So that's what the Srimad Bhagavatam is all about. Okay? The narration of the Lord. Right? And it begins with the narration of creation. How did creation happen? Why did it happen? Well, it begins with a little bit of history, but it really starts off with why did creation happen? How did it happen? And goes all the way up to that present day. Like, oh, so now today you're sitting over here. So that's, and our huge volume of it is dedicated to who is Krishna. Okay? So anyhow, so when that narration ends, there is still a little bit of time left over before Parikshit Maharaj is about to die. And at that time, his mother, the one who was pregnant with him, his mother, Uttara, she comes running and she asks him 2 questions. And the questions that she asks is, who are the most dear devotees of the Lord? That's the first question. 2, where can we find them? And to answer these 2 questions, Parikshit Maharaj says something which is then documented in this book called as Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Okay? So the reason I said this is also dense with philosophy, but it's a different kind of philosophy. It's philosophy which is encompassed, enclosed in 2 different stories. The first story revolves around Narad Muni going all over the universe, trying to locate who is the most dear devotees of the Lord. And the second story is about this cowherd boy called Gopakumar. And he goes around the entire universe trying to figure out where to find them. Okay? So this is another beautiful kind of, any other philosophical books, kind of things that you can think of. What other kind of philosophies would you like? Something about existential philosophy maybe? So who is God? Like what are we doing over here? Who am I? So a lot of the Ishopanishads deal with those kind of existential topics. Okay? So we won't spend too much time in that, but what we are basically seeing is there's a variegated amount of stuff that we can do in hearing, speaking, reading, and discussing. Okay? On the right, I have given just a few things that came to my mind when I was sitting over here. Where can we hear? Where can we read? Where can we find the reading material? Where can we find all discussions around this? Okay? Where can we locate people who are wonderful, who are speaking about these things? Well, the good thing is we have YouTube in front of us. That itself has millions and millions and millions of content. Okay? Mayapur TV, sometimes we want to just see the Lord, and when we want to hear the Kirtan. And so we can go to Mayapur TV, that will locate all the different, that will show us all the different centers of ISKCON worldwide. Well, not every single one of them, but many of them. And then we can pick and choose, oh, over here this Mangal Aarti is going on, over here this Shayan Aarti is going on, and it's beautiful. We can see some live streams, you know, Puri Rath Yatra or New York Rath Yatra or any other live stream, New Vrindavan live stream that is going on. There are many content websites like ISKCON Desire Tree. There are wonderful books. There are hundreds and thousands of types of books. You look over here also, we don't have hundreds and thousands of types of books, but we have quite a few books which are diverse. There are books for kids, there are books for beginners, there are books for advanced philosophers, and so on and so forth. We have magazines, periodicals, pamphlets, and so on and so forth. So what else can we do? Somebody before said, well, we can associate. So, how do you associate with anybody? Anybody ever has any friends over here in your life? It's a very rhetorical question, but obviously, we all have friends. So how do we associate with our friends?
Vapu.
I'm sorry, what?
Vapu.
Yes, Vapu as in physical association, that's obvious, but how do you do it?
Talking, respect.
I'm sorry?
Talking.
Talking, yes,
Respect.
yes. Talking with respect and love, with
Answering.
some affection, okay.
Considering some
Okay.
opinions.
What else do you do with your friends? What else does anybody else do with your friends?
Playing sports,
Playing sports, so doing different types of activities, okay. What else?
sharing knowledge,
Sharing knowledge, okay. What else?
Sharing foodstuffs.
Discussing about life.
Discussing about life. Hey, you know what? This is what's going on in my life, or I'm in this trouble, or whatever it is, or I would like your advice about something. Do you guys have deeper friendship like that? Some of our friends are not like that, obviously, but some friends are intimate, and these friends are closer to us, the friends with whom we can reveal something about ourselves, or we can hear something from them that they would like to reveal to us. Correct? Right? Okay, what else do we do? Have you guys ever had any lunch or dinner with your friends? Or invited them over to your house?
Yes.
Right? So these are what we do. So first of all, the definition of a good association has to fulfill two criteria. One, they must be like-minded. Okay? So your friend is, it's like this. Have you ever had friends in college that you grew up with and you hung around and maybe, did a bunch of stuff, and then you get married, and then you have kids, and maybe your friend didn't get married, didn't have kids, or whatever it is, and they're still stuck over there in that type of lifestyle that they were before, during college, and you cannot relate with them anymore. Has it ever happened like that? Hey man, I can't relate with this guy anymore. He's still like going out at whatever, 10 o'clock or coming back at midnight and so on. But I've moved on from there, right? So the friends have to be like-minded. That is the first thing of it, or not necessarily friends, of association, a spiritual association. It has to be with like-minded people. If somebody is too serious or too, and you're not like that, occasionally it's okay, but deeply you will not be able to have a very fruitful association with them. The second thing, they have to be loving. If your friend is envious of you, right, or they are jealous or something like that, then that's not going to work. If they're always trying to find fault with you, it's not going to work. If they're being angry with you all the time, it's not going to work. Okay? So those are the two major criteria of a good association. Okay. And then there have to be 6 loving exchanges. The 6 loving exchanges are very nicely elaborated by Rupa Goswami. It's called Dadati Pratikrinati. Say, everybody say Dadati Pratikrinati. Dadati means giving, Dadati Pratikrinati, accepting. So giving gifts in charity, accepting gifts. So this is the first two, okay? Guhyam Akhyati Prichati. Guhyam Akhyati Prichati. Guhyam means secret, okay? Vishnu Sarva Guhasaya. The Lord in our heart knows all our secrets, okay? Guhasaya, the secret. Guhyam, Akhyati and Prichati, okay? So revealing one's heart in confidence. There should be 1 or 2 friends that you can call at an odd hour and say, you know what, I've told you whatever is going on in my life, it is now your problem, and I'm going to go to sleep because I'm too tired, okay? But there has to be somebody like that. Guhyam Akhyati, revealing your heart in confidence, and also being able to listen to them in confidence, okay? Okay? Okay. Bhunkte, bhojayate, chaiva. So bhunkte and bhojayate means feeding them and accepting food from them. Inviting them over, going to their house. Very simple things. This is nothing elaborate. We do this all the time, right? That's the degree of our association. And so obviously you can see just from the definition of this that you cannot have the same level of association with everybody. It's not possible, okay? Some you will be closer than others. Completely okay. You're not looking to break the world record in the number of associates you have. No. You're looking for these 2 or 3 people that you get along with, who are similar, who are like-minded, who like to interact with, and so on and so forth, and also with whom you can do these 6 loving exchanges. That's it. So this is how we get started. And now the final point, and then I will pause. So when we go through our journey of bhakti, we must remember this very beautiful shloka, but we don't have to remember this entire shloka. We have to remember 2 terms of this shloka. It says, Savai Pumsa Parodhamo. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, text number 6. Savai Pumsa Parodhamo Yator Bhakti Adokshade Ahaituki Apratihata Yayatma Suprasidati. The supreme occupation, Savai Pumsa Parodhama, the supreme dharma for all humanity, Savai Pumsa, is that by which men can attain to Yator Bhakti Adokshade, can attain to Bhakti, loving devotional service, unto who? Unto Adokshada. Adokshada is another word for the transcendental law, okay? But here are the 2 terms. Ahaituki, everybody say ahaituki. Ahaituki means unmotivated. Now, let's go back to the relationship that you would have. Many of us, I look around, are married. So, there is my dear friend Raju Prabhu. Oh yeah, I can see part of his t-shirt as well. So, Raju Prabhu, if I'm, okay, this is very dangerous territory, but I'm going to go there anyways. So, of course, I know you both very nicely, very intimately. You love Ruchi so much, right? And so, but let's say from tomorrow onwards, you say that, oh, I am going to take care of Ruchi or love Ruchi only if she does A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Like you maintain a checklist. So it becomes transactional. Will that be good for your relationship? No, right? So will that be deep enough love and affection between the 2 of you? No, right? And this is the gist of forming a relationship with the Lord. Just like it is, this kind of relationship doesn't work for us in our lives, it doesn't work for us with the Lord as well. That, my dear Lord, I'm going through some trouble, I'm going to do this for you, but you got to get me out of trouble. That is transactional. That does not work. Okay? So this ahaituki means this which is unmotivated. Okay? Apratihata. Apratihata means uninterrupted. So what are some of the things which can interrupt our bhakti? Oh, I've become very busy. oh, I'm in deep trouble. I cannot tell you how many times I see it. It's the weirdest thing that something happens in our family, something, whatever. I'm sorry, I don't have time to come over here. Why? Because I need to continuously try to attend to this. That is the time to come. So that is uninterrupted. Ahaituki means, apratihata means uninterrupted. Come rain or shine, in good times or bad times, in every single circumstance of our life, we do it. Okay? And the best way to understand these two is to personalize it. We cannot imagine this relationship with the Lord at the beginning of our journey. But we can imagine this kind of behavior with somebody who's close to us. Personalize it with that person. My spouse, my parents, my children. Can I do, will that relationship flourish if it is not uninterrupted and not unmotivated? No, it will not flourish. Similarly, this will also not flourish. So I will pause now. So the main point of this last shloka is this thing that we heard, that is hearing, speaking, reading, discussing, and association, these have to be done, ahaituki and apratihata, and connected to the Lord. This is very, very simple beginning steps in bhakti. Okay? So I would love to hear anybody's feedback, comments, questions, anything that anybody would like to share. Okay. Yes.
You were just
I
saying
mean,
that, you were just saying that unmotivated and uninterrupted. So the motivation of, like in the beginning stages, we have the motivation of having happiness and some peace and some satisfaction.
Yes.
Is that okay, and how to see that?
So the question is, I'll repeat, in the beginning, our motivation is that of happiness and satisfaction. Is that okay? In the beginning stages, it's expected to have that kind of until and unless one is continuing a journey from their previous lives, and one has entered into bhakti in this life at a very high stage, at a very advanced stage. So it's not so much of whether it is okay or not, but that is natural, right? But we cannot linger over there. So that will not help us advance to the level that we want. So I will give you an example. How many of you over here has gone through a arranged marriage? Anybody? Or have known anybody who's gone through arranged marriage, right? Okay. So my sister went through arranged marriage. My grandma, of course, in those days, it was, she got, I don't know how young she was, but and so on and so forth. But at that time, on the very first interactions between the husband and wife, they don't really know each other. They're still beginning to start on their journey of a deeper relationship. So at that point of time, somebody, the elder person would say, you know what, go and give him this cup of tea. And go and, when you go out, or to the guy, hey, when you come back from home, just get her a little bit of sweet from the nearest sweet shop. Or get her a small thing and so on and so forth, right? And it will make her feel good. So it is motivated that it makes somebody else feel good or come closer. And slowly, by doing that service, you become attached to that service. That, every time I go out, I have to bring something in. It becomes, and then if you're not bringing something, I forgot, let me just quickly go and get it. So, and then after doing that for even more time, you become slowly attached to the object of the service. Who are you doing it for? Okay? But even after some time, it doesn't matter whether this other person reciprocates or not. You're doing it out of love for that person. At that time, you're not expecting anything in return. that if I get this from outside, or if I give this person this cup of tea, they're going to say thank you, they're going to smile at me, they're going to do this, they're going to give me a hug. None of that. You do it just out of love for that person. So it blossoms, it develops. It's the same thing when we start off in our journey. So we are talking about first steps, of course. It is natural to have some expectation. But after a period of time, and with the right association, and doing all of those other things, slowly it will manifest to Arituki Bhakti. Does that answer your question, Prabhuji?
Yeah. So basically we need to follow some like process of sadhana bhakti.
We 100%. In this lifetime, it is our journey is secure when we follow the path of Vaidhi Bhakti, or Bhakti with some rules and regulations, right? So this elder person who is helping these two couples to get closer together, they are guiding them that, give them the tea and not the coffee. Because, if they give them coffee, he doesn't like coffee, that kind of thing. So he's certain rules, certain things that you're saying, right? And so on. And of course, I'm not just advocating that everybody starts drinking tea and coffee because Pandit Srivas said so. It's not that like that. I'm just making a point. Okay? Is that okay? All right. Yes, Prabhuji?
Not a question, just a thought. As earlier you were talking about transaction with the God or the Lord. See, we have like the standard sloka, Matra Deva, Pitru Deva, Guru Deva. So, in maintaining a relationship with the God, or let us talk about God, the Lord. I ask something, you do it. Give. No, but fortunately we are humans because we got that desire, we have that desire, we have a lot of ambitions, and we try to have a ladder to get all those things. So now, there is one aspect which I have observed, that whatever we get, when we get one of the ambitions is fulfilled, we forget about the Lord at some time.
Yeah.
And after that, once again we are in deep trouble.
Then again, yeah.
So in this journey, what I have witnessed is to maintain a simple curve. That transaction, yes, it is. I say a transaction of getting a two-way of information, getting flow from the Lord into you. That I believe. What is it? Like I get wisdom from him. He gets praises from me. That is my perception. And the final thought here is, being a human, I can't give my desire. Because as a family person and a professional, my profession, money and everything. But what I have adapted here is, get a sustainable piece of spiritual journey, not increasing, not decreasing. That makes us to achieve something, a right path of the journey. What do you say about it?
So there are two things you mentioned. One is the transactional nature of it, and the other one is our occupational duties, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay? So, like we had discussed, transactional, we cannot come closer to anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. If all we are thinking about is having a transactional relationship, even like we gave the examples of a spouse, even some deeper examples like let's say between child and mother, it can't be transactional. Or it's not deep enough if it is only transactional. Like, oh, my mom, I will come and visit you at your old age only if every time I come you give me $100. Right? What kind of relationship is that? That's not going to work very well. That is a very superficial relationship. And the same applies to any relationship that we will be able to get, maybe we might be able to get something from the Lord, but after some time the Lord is independent. He's like, why would I keep giving this guy something? Instead, like you said, I'm not going to give him anything. Let's see what happens. Let's see, let him come then begging for it. And then he will understand how much he depends on me, how much, what role I have to play in their life. It's like you withdrawing, if your child always keeps coming in a transactional way, you say, you know what, I'm not going to give you anything, let's see. Tum aa jao abhi, apne aap aa jao. Fir dekhte hain. That kind of a thing. But the other question which you asked is very deep, which is, all right, I'm this mother, I have to take care of this. So if you look at the shloka, it says, Savai Pumso Paro Dharmo. So the supreme dharma of all humanity, and this dharma over here is, we have different dharmas. Dharma as a son, dharma as a parent, dharma as a husband, dharma as a wife or whatever, spouse, partner, dharma as a worker in the society, contributor to society. Dharma is a ruler within the society. Different people are dependent on us for different things, just like we are dependent on others for other things, and so on and so forth. Dharma in our country, dharma for mankind, or whatever it is, like that. Of all those dharmas, the supreme one, in which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. And the way to understand it is, if you look at the entire cosmos, universe, and the way this is structured like a tree, and you have these different branches and these leaves and so on and so forth, there's different aspects of humanity. One would represent the country, one would represent your family, your friends, your relatives, your this, your that, and so on and so forth. You cannot go about just trying to water every single branch and every single leaf. The way to nourish all these leaves and these branches and so on and so forth, this entire tree, is to water the root of the tree. And the watering the root of the tree is the service of the Lord. If everybody is dovetailed into that, and why should everybody be dovetailed into that? I said, yeah, why? What is the point of it? The point of it is what we started off in the beginning. The point is because for how long will we have our friends? For how long will we have our family? For how long will we have our country? For how long will we be father? Will we be mother? We will be children? We will be, and so on. They're all very temporary. They all have a timestamp. Even within our life, many of us in this room, we would have changed our country also. Forget about everything else, right? So they're all very temporary. We will not get, us who are permanent, who are eternal souls, we will not get satisfaction if we only try to serve the temporary things. We will get satisfaction when we try to serve the eternal things, the things which don't have that limit to longevity. And so I will show you, this is how we get started. This is who we are. Na jayate mriyate vakatachin, nayam bhutva bhavitva vana bhuya, ajo nitya shashvato ayam purano, na hanyate hanyamana sharya. This is who we are. We have neither birth nor death. We have not come into being, we do not come into being, and we will not come into being. We are unborn, we are eternal, we are ever existing, and we are primeval, and we are not slain when the body is slain. So every relationship that we have with the body, and what are our bodily relationships? Of course, our parents, children, this, that, our relatives, yes. But also our body relationship is our jobs, our occupation, our country. All of those relationships are also temporary. This does not mean that we have to neglect our children. This does not mean that we have to neglect our spouses. No. This means that we have to serve others by keeping the right concept in mind. That they are also, just like we are eternal, they are also eternal parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. So if we keep that thing in mind, that concept in mind, then our service to them will become a spiritual service versus a material service. Does that make sense, Prabhuji? Okay, thank you so much. That was a very deep question, very thoughtful question. Thank you.
I'm experiencing this.
Very
Sometimes,
nice.
Getting into meditation, I get some strange questions.
Very nice, very good realizations. Okay, anybody else has anything? Okay, Alright, so then we can end here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guruji, for enlightening class. I hope devotees found this helpful in their bhakti. So we'll thank Prabhuji by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Hare